And we're live. And I've now transitioned from my wellies to my walking shoes. So we'll see how well we do today. Although, I don't know, I feel a bit more optimistic yesterday. after last week, shall we say. It was incredibly warm last week. So now we've fully shed my winter gear. I'm not even wearing a jacket or cardigan or anything this morning. Up, Craig, good morning to you. Catho G, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone joining us. Welcome to a Sunday morning walk. Like I say, yesterday, unfortunately, I had places to be, places to go. I had a trip to Beverley yesterday, so I had to be off and away early doors. But for those of you joining us early, here's some morning pony. But no, Beverley was very nice. Never been there before. Interesting place to visit. Get some more. Joining us there. Nick B, good morning to you. Lovely day. Oh, it's an absolutely cracking day today. It was an amazing day yesterday, to be honest. Almost wants to make you eat outdoors. Oh dear. And they want her to be the next PM. Really. What can we say about, Kimmy Badnock that hasn't been said already, and in some cases by her own party? Oh dear. Oh no. We might. Oh. Yep. No cows this morning. A good and or somewhat maybe not worrying sign. But does not look like they're in the field today. Or they're somewhere completely else. We'll find out soon, I suppose. Craig. Reaction to the Tory WhatsApp meltdown. The disingenuous argument about false allegations, i.e. is particularly warped when they mention Rayner, who the Tories have been trying to get arrested. Yep. I mean, honestly, and I said it in my video about it as well, is it just shows a party that is in absolute meltdown, and a number 10 that A, does not seem interested in what is going on in Parliament, which is really bad, because you would expect, number 10 to know what's going on, in the chamber. You've then got a situation where you've got no control over his own party, and we've talked about this. I don't know how many times have we said in the past that Sunak has absolutely no control over his own MPs, over his own party, that he has now this almost malaise of, I generally don't know, sort of, who knows? It's just difficult to describe, because I could not imagine anything so chaotic happening like this. And in some respects, Sunak is he's not worse than Liz Truss, but in some ways, with how Sunak is running the party and effectively running the government, in a lot of ways, he is now worse than Boris Johnson. Yeah, I think you could debate that. I think that is a potentially debatable topic. Like, who is a worse prime minister, Boris Johnson or Rishi Sunak? I think there's a lot of scope to have a talk around that. But he's made himself 120 million richer, so it's all worked out for him. Oh, it probably has done. It probably has done, Craig. It probably has done. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning. Oh, there we go. And good morning, everyone else joining us as well. Welcome to a Sunday good morning walk. Unfortunately, I couldn't do one yesterday morning. I had places to go and things to eat, which was kind of nice. So if you're ever in Beverley, I can recommend the Beverly Hills Diner. Very nice place. I went and had the afternoon tea with a group of friends. Very American, you know, an Americanized afternoon tea. You had beef burgers, chicken burgers on top, or like the top shelf. The next layer you had chicken wings and breaded crispy chicken on your next level, which was quite nice. And then on the bottom you had brownies and waffles. So very, very nice indeed. All washed down quite nicely by an American film themed cocktail. All very nice, only for 25 quid. So to be honest, got more than your money's worth. For what we paid for it, it was very, very good. Very, very good indeed. So if you are in the area, in Beverley, go check it out. Truss was a politician. She's just there we go. So she got politics better than Rishi. She was a terrible leader, but she got the mechanics of running the party apparatus. Yeah, not a bad argument. I will give you that. It's not a bad argument. I mean, yeah, you've got a fair point there, Craig. You've got a fair point. Okay, debatable. Who was the worst prime minister? Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak. Debatable. Three-way debate. I think we could do something around this. I don't know. Maybe when we've got the general election night and we're sort of waiting for the results to roll in, maybe that's something we could do to keep you all entertained until we start getting the results. I mean, honestly, whoever gets Liz Truss is gonna it's going to be a wonderful topic for them because there's so much to choose from. But again, you are right in what she got right compared to where Rishi's going wrong. So yeah, you're not too far off there, Craig. You're not too far off, although it pains me to sort of be defending Liz Truss a bit from being the worst prime minister on that front. Oh, there go the geese. Hang on, let's once again get in the shade and catch up with the chat. Well, where are we? Here we are. Sarah Davis. I always said that if Rishi made it to PM, he would only enrich himself as a complete money man, a former banker, and has long had getting richer. He just doesn't care. Yeah, I mean, did you see the hilarious attempt to be a man of the people by going to a foot the ball game and sitting amongst the peasantry? Honestly, it was just a weird look all around. I think a weird look. Mark R, good morning to you. Russian asset, tough and street asset, or asset stripper? Complete tricky choice. Yeah. This is it. This is why it might be fun on general election night to have this, to sort of have this debate. Like, who was the worst prime minister, like, out of the three? I may even do a poll at some point, just saying, you know, actually, who was the worst prime minister? Like, out of those three, debate. That will actually be quite interesting, I think. So maybe I'll, like I say, on general election night, because we're going to be probably sitting around for a good couple of hours, like I said, before the results are all in. So at least that might keep us entertained for an hour or so until we get the results. Sarah Davis, come on, Leeds. When Starmer goes, at least he looks natural as if he's enjoying the match. Very true. Oh. And the thing is, people don't pay attention to this, or at least they sometimes don't want to admit this, but personality in politics does count. It does count for a fair number of votes. I mean, not so much as in the UK as in America, but yeah, it does count. And we all know the bacon sandwich drama, you know. But it's one of the things that we've seen talked about before, that when a campaign does kick off, we'll get to that in a moment as well. So when all these have, you know, kicked off, it does come out to be a bit of a deciding factor sometimes. But I don't know if people heard, there's rumours going around. Oops, walked into an absolute mess of flies. There's rumours going around now that CCHQ met for an emergency meeting this week. I'm just walking into every single fly that's going. But there you go. The dangers when you do a good morning walk. Oh. Ugh. There we go. I'm going to need a hat soon as well. I must get one. But anyway, let's catch up with the chat. The king could go to Rishi for a loan if he starts to struggle. That's very true. Mike, good morning. Your thoughts on whether Theresa May would have stopped a disastrous Brexit that Johnson did later? Theresa May was always sort of pushing a very soft Brexit anyway. You know, her Northern Ireland backstop was a lot better than the option Johnson pushed, which would have kept us all really in the single market, or at least the customs union, should I say. So there is that. Because we're out amongst the ponies. So there is that. I think that was very, very much, yeah, I've said before, Theresa May got the poison chalice. I think everyone knew it. That's what she was being given. Ooh. There's a new pony. There's a new foal there. You can see him. There he is. Where were we? Sorry, I've been distracted by ponies now. Oh, morning. Breakfast time for this one. So she could have, I think. It would have been, but she'd have had to stand up to the Brexiteers, and she didn't, because she wanted to try and please everyone. And you know, what's the old saying? If you try and please everyone, you please no one. And unfortunately, that was Theresa May. Because no matter how you tried to slice it, you were going to upset someone. And now we've ended up with what we have now, which is a lot harder Brexit than even what the Leave campaign was promoting at the time during the referendum. So she could have, but she'd had to have handled it completely different than the way she did. Hence why it's often funny to see her during the Boris Johnson days, literally just living her best life, you know, staring daggers into Boris Johnson as he would stand up and declare all this stuff as well. So yeah, you know, I don't like her obviously as a politician. You know, she did a lot of bad stuff, but hey, you know, it was amusing to watch her sitting behind Boris Johnson and the looks she would make when all that was going on. But anyway, back to where I was talking about. Yes, let's get back to some of the general election rumours. So, where was I? CCHQ has supposedly been meeting this week. They had an emergency meeting to discuss funding for a potential snap general election for Rishi Sunak to announce next week. So hold on to your hats, folks, because we've got rumours next week that Sunak might launch a snap general election. Whether he will or not, we'll see. But those are the current rumours now flying about within the Westminster sphere. And why is he suddenly going to launch a snap general election? Well, next week, the Bank of England is set to lower inflation figures. Or at least the inflation numbers, whatever grand, you know, force controls the inflation, is set to sort of lower the numbers on that. So once they've done their job, apparently rumour goes that Rishi Sunak will launch a surprise general election, or at least a snap general election. So it could be next week, all hands on deck, as potentially we could see a general election contest running next week. Not beyond the realms of possibility, but who knows? As always, we sit waiting for Rishi Sunak to decide when he would like to lose. Craig, yep, interest rates. Craig, yeah, the dumbest time possible. Labour just had their well stage managed launch event. Yep, but then again, Labour's been ready for the past year. You know, they've said it. They have been prepared well over for the past year to potentially just go for a snap general election, and that has been the right thing to do because no one really knew when there was going to be a general election. So Labour have been long prepared for one coming down the pipe. Helen Wilkes, May come up with the backstop instead of what Johnson did about Northern Ireland. That would have all kept us in the single market. Yep. Larry the Cat, good morning to you. And good morning everyone else joining us as well. You've arrived just in time, by the way, for us to enter the triangle. So we'll see if we keep connection this time or not. But don't worry, We will be back if as soon as possible if connection does drop out, so don't worry. But in the meantime, do please remember to click on the like and share button. That gets more people in. Share it to your socials, share it around wherever your social posts are indeed shared. Let's get more people in. Let's have some more fun. Walking about. Exactly. Ooh, Barnsley Triangle. But at the end of the month, I am on holiday, so we might be doing some live streaming from some exotic locations. What's this? Craig. Oh. That was definitely swallowed a fly. Ugh. Ugh. Never walk and eat at the same time. Well, at least that's breakfast sorted. Oh. Ugh. Oh. Oh dear. Oh well. We all know what we're going about the lady who swallowed the fly. I have to find a spider now. Oh dear. Anyway, where were we? Craig. Now the Tories are going to have to sort of bumble out their manifesto. Oh, they're going to have to more than bumble it out. It's, what do you do? Like, what do you do as a manifesto? What could you possibly do to try and attract people to vote for you at this stage? So now the Tories are going to bumble out the manifesto, launched in a press conference with Greg Hands trying to play the hype man and Kemi and Suella trying to play matches off to the side. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. One of the fun things that's going to happen during this general election contest is, will they try and keep the idea that they are some sort of united party maybe intact? Now, they did try when it was the local election campaign, and it lasted about a week. So, honestly, I don't see that unity illusion being maintained by the Tory party for that long. And of course, you are right. Not only just Kemi and Suella having, matches off to the side. Honestly, anyone who thinks that they might survive the incoming extinction event for them is going to be sort of playing off on the side. You also might get, after, depending how sort of the pieces land, you may get some surprise people throwing their hat in the ring as well. But my honest bet is really, it looks like probably Kimi Badenoch is going to be left, and I think that in all likelihood she's going to win, and then she's going to be an absolute terrible leader for them. And as we've said before, the more they get smashed, the more they get destroyed in the election, the less chances they have of maintaining any form of coherent opposition, because they'll be having their own troubles to deal with. The more it gives us a chance to get a load of progressive stuff done. And oh look, we've got a stream on a stream. Oh. So where are we? So here are Mike. Good morning to you. Simon Case up before the COVID inquiry next week. Suspect more lost phones or I don't recall. That is a fair point, actually. Yes. COVID inquiry still rumbling on, and I think we are into. Is it the third module? I think we are. I think we're on the third module. So I think this one in particular is looking at the beginning of the pandemic. I think that's what the third module is about. So very likely we're going to have Boris Johnson out there again, probably Rishi Sunak as well, maybe Dominic Cummings as well. At some point we're going to talk about Dominic Cummings' political party he's planning to set up as well, so we'll get to talking about that at some point as well. David, good morning to you. Cathlo G, is a summer election even possible? Or what will the big story be when you're on holes? That's, well, as you know, I have been cursed that whenever I go on holiday, something big tends to happen. So honestly, at this point, I would not be surprised if it turned out to be a general election. Now, at this point, what a surprise. especially if it's all going to kick off next week, which again, all the rumours are now swirling around that. Will he do it? Will he not? Well, time will tell. Time will tell. Maybe we'll be here next Saturday talking about the exact same rumours again, that he didn't do it, that he's going to do it. He's going to do it next week now. Honestly, until there is a general election, when you get rumours like this, when you hear rumours like this, and especially with the state that the party is in now, especially the Tory party, the old Stingray quote comes into it of anything could happen the next 60 seconds. Relatively right, I think. Anything could indeed happen. And with Sunak almost doing that soft launch, it does sort of lend credibility, which is why I think Starmer also followed up with its own launch as well. So it's very, more breakfast. They were very, very, airy-fairy promises, not too much on the detail, which is fine. That's what your manifesto's for, really. But it does give, them something to talk about, and we'll see what happens along that line. Oh, we've got someone coming through there. I'll wait for them. Yep, sunny morning it is. A very sunny morning. It's been an absolute amazing weekend, honestly. Morning. Morning. Let's crack on through. So yeah, it is and does become, a bit of a waiting game, but it's honestly, hey, all rumours about a general election could be true until they are disproven. So maybe next week we'll be in a general election mode. Who knows? Who knows? But the fact that CCHQ has had a meeting about funding, about a snap general election, does lend a lot of credence to, once again, that rumour. So until it happens, we don't know. Duke Vengeance, I think all the walking around did my legs is completely buggered up. I'll sorry to hear that. The Tories come to destroy. Craig, Sunak, we're all in this together. Everyone starts sharpening knives. Sunak, everyone. Yeah. Oh yes. Make no mistake, they are all ready to feast on that. Make no mistake about that. Craig, coherent opposition at the moment, they are the less than 20% chance they'll avoid a current or former minister trashing large parts of their own manifesto. Oh, I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I think they are. They are in for it. Or if not, it will come after. It will come after the general election, and then all bets are off, because I can guarantee you in the cold light of the morning after, like, the next 2 weeks are going to be glorious. Because they are going to be arguing, they are going to be laying blame. You've already seen them try to say Rishi Sunak should take responsibility for the bad results of the local election. It's all Rishi, nothing to do with the rest of us, all on Rishi. Also rumours, I don't know if you saw again in the Daily Express, more letters of no confidence apparently going in, according to the Daily Express. They were the only ones who reported it. So how true that is, I don't know. But it didn't trigger anything. But as always, we don't know how many letters are in till we reach the magic number. So until that happens, we generally don't know what could happen on that front. But yeah, talk about a disaster of a campaign. If you're in the middle of a general election campaign, fighting essentially for your party's survival, you get a minister coming out trashing your manifesto. Or even, again, former minister coming out trashing your manifesto. Oh, that is going to be delicious to watch. Because he can't maintain any party discipline. And we saw during the local elections, it lasted a week before they just went at each other. You've just had another Tory MP say he's going to step down at the next local election. Can't remember who it is, but what was his position now? Something to do with Northern Ireland, but he's a junior minister in it. Can't remember his name. I think he might be from Devon. But it was announced yesterday. So they've got another MP to add to the pile of people who are not standing again. So honestly, their situation just gets worse. They all know they're probably going to lose the next election. So, he's trying to get a job. Allows him to, should we say, get his CV out earlier. Cyrus think there would be better odds on Trump passing before the UK general election. Well, probably. I don't know. There probably would be better odds. But like I say, these rumours, obviously, until they get disproven, we got to believe them. So potentially on Wednesday, we might be in general election mode. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But we are in a situation where, unfortunately, you've got to believe every rumour until they are disproven. And sometimes you've got to look at what else is going on. So that meeting at CCHQ, the fact that it does time well, of course, with the inflation announcement probably going to go down as well. So it would match up if Rishi Sunak wanted to call a general election. Sunak is the ultimate kept man. Healthy Mind Project, good morning to you. Oh, I've got you live again. Greetings from Saigon, Vietnam. Still following my posts. Well, excellent. Good morning to you. Good morning to you from Saigon. Oh dear. Just as I thought I wouldn't need my wellies, Here we go. We might have to try and Spider-Man this one, I think. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Got over him. Excellent. Oh. Anyway, path still not fully dry yet, but it's getting there. Like I said, I've got my walking shoes on today rather than my wellies. If it was my wellies, I'd just be able to wade across them. But not today. So obviously because of that, like I say, normally would carry on this way. But however, given the state of that, I can't trust what that's going to be like down there. So we're going to cut off this way and head up the hill. Duke Vengeance. Oh, you know the one time Dutch ate their Prime Minister? I'm just saying. Well, they're probably all going to feast on Sunak, that should be sure. Sunak should be sponsored by Warburton's, the toast. Oh, Warburton should totally do something like that. But I think the guy's like a big Conservative supporter, but who knows what he thinks about Rishi Sunak at the moment. The Express also suggests Meghan Markle running for the White House. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Craig, to be fair, running in Devon as the party as a complete light touch of regulation and privatisation is not exactly going to go well when people are being told to boil water. Oh, yeah, that's something as well. The 16th to the 1st for a January election looks decent if you're into that. The Tories doing a complete yoza down the job centre after the whole gizzard job. I can do that. Very, very true. Tom Nielsen, good morning to you. Bird song indeed. Yeah. I say we are completely out in the country on here, so UK needs a rejoin, not a reform. Oh, absolutely. It is now, I think, a matter of when, not if. There we go. Right. Up the hill we go. Cavalad 100, good morning to you. Oh, but yeah, one of the things we should also probably talk about as well, eventually, would be the 5 pledges. And like I say, one of the most ones I'm actually quite excited about is the UK energy company, UK renewable energy company. I think that has a lot of promise. That has a lot of promise. Now, when you can do that. But I'd also be interested when we get the manifesto, what's public transport? What's their pledge on that going to be like? Because like I say, I want to try and see if we can get HS2 back off the ground. At least get that running again. We'll see. Craig, Job Centre. So you've spent the last 3 years as Tory minister. I'm sorry you aren't qualified to run a piss up in a brewery. Yeah, yeah, I could see that happening. Healthy Mind Project. Please also let your UK overseas voters know that the 15-year limit on overseas/proxy voting has been lifted, so now you can vote for as long as we want. Looking forward to voting the Tories out. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, that is something as well. The Tories are apparently trying to harvest overseas voters, but from the sounds of it, most overseas voters are in the EU and they ain't happy. They are not happy about Brexit. And of course, which is the party that did Brexit? Well, it was the Conservatives. So they've got that albatross around their neck for probably quite some considerable time until they decide to reverse it, or at least change direction within their party. And like I say, I did a video on that this week as well. So something else to watch. Mike Fletcher, boat numbers are rising. Need an election before people actually start realising that Sunak's plan is not working. Yep. Yep, most of the crossings always take place during the summer. If he has any plan to try and say, my plan's working, then, well, he's sort of going to do it now. You know, sooner rather than later, as they say. And it does appear, you know, a lot of the election rumours are talking about now sort of a snap general election. So it would not surprise me if, honestly, an election could come at any point. So if that is the case, then at least we know this time Labour are prepared. You know, this isn't going to happen like last time. Craig, the 6 first step, not the 5 pledges. The pledges were the ones that Sunak kept failing. Yeah. Like I say, and I think it makes sense. You've got to be, economically fiscal. You can't, go around spending willy-nilly as much as, I and other people would like to do. You've actually got to get in a state where maybe we can actually start spending money. Maybe we've got to actually see what the finances are like before we start, splashing around the money. So it's not, again, necessarily a bad idea to say something like that, because then later on you can go, well, actually, we are now in a better sort of fiscal state. We can actually now start spending money, which is something I've always said. Get HS2 back on track. Yep. Just trample through here. There we go. The only problem not wearing my wellies is that my boots and that my lower part of my jeans are absolutely soaked. Like I say, don't know if you can see here. Nice rolling vista through the valley. Patrick H, good morning. Bikini adverts. Well, hey, it's good to know that they they think I'm worth advertising on. Who knows? Maybe I should do a partnership deal with them. Oh. Craig, please don't phrase it as, quote, harvest voters with Suella and Rees-Mogg. It might be indicative to plan for Silent Green to solve the cost of living crisis. Well, I wouldn't put it past the Tories to do that. We'd like to introduce this new option called Soylent Green. Also, again, that's something else I did this video week as well. What Suella Braverman actually said about removing the 2-child benefit cap. Because what she actually said was, yeah, we'll remove the 2-child benefit cap if you allow us to go after even more vulnerable people on benefits. And yet, all of a sudden, people start saying, oh my God, look at what Suella Braverman is saying. Look at what she's saying. She wants to get rid of the 2-child benefit cap. Yeah. And then go after more people on benefits, like really hard. You did not read the full statement from Suella Braverman, did you? You did not read that full article. And, of course, it's also worth mentioning the fact that she wanted to start means testing richer pensioners, which did not go down well in the comments. In fact, most of the comments she posted overwhelmingly negative about that idea. And I think at that time, all that was that she's probably been told that you have a very harsh image and that you need to sort of sort it out. So that was probably her attempt to try and, quote, soften her image by going, yeah, we'll undo the 2-child benefit cap, if you let me go really hard after other people on benefits. There are also long-term sick, let me go after them. Yeah, really, really softened her image, did that. A pledge is a handcuff, a first step is an ambition. True. Very true, Patrick. Yep, Searle said that she was never planning what to do with the third and later kids. Yep. Good morning, Mike. I don't know if I've said good morning to you, but good morning to everyone else joining us as well. Like I say, please do remember to hit the like and share button. Jeremy Hunt's waffling speech with absolute no mention of any Brexit damage, par for the course. Yep. Oh dear. I'll just walk a bit more, I think. We'll try and cross the stream. I'll show you saying this case and jump the stream. And it would be something actually Labour could actually attack them on during a general election campaign. And of course, that would then give them more credence to then talk about, well, we're actually going to go back and talk to the EU. We're going to go and talk to them, about doing, alignment deals and things like that. And as I've said multiple times, I cannot see the EU saying no to those types of deals, especially when you consider the fact that directly from the EU, we had that offer recently about, restoring a sort of version of freedom of movement for, where can we make this jump? I've got to be careful here. Yes, it might be. Right. Okay, wish me luck. That's going to all go a bit wrong. Nope, there we go. Oh, that went right. Oh. This is the thing when you've got no path. Where do I go? The grass has grown a bit too much. I need to get the cows and ponies out over on this field. Stat. And I'll deal with it. We'll head to the top of the hill. But yeah, when you've got, the EU saying, oh yeah, for young people, we'll, how about we restore freedom of movement? That's actually a really good sign that the EU is actually quite willing to work with us on a number of possible things as well. So, really good signs. A lot better than other people would normally say. So, hey. I usually say, as always, forever more hopeful about my politics than most people, and that annoys a lot of people. I know that all too well, but there you go. Pity the government's mum removed her cap. Very true. Shall we try? Tell you what, we'll go this way. Try and get to the top of this crest of this hill. So I'm just wading, honestly. I don't know if you can see, I'm just wading through grass. And my trainers, well, not my trainers, but walking boots are absolutely soaked. All this dew. Oh, that's better. That's better. Should have gone this way in the first place. There we go. Miles better. Actually walk up on this side. Anyway. Cathlo G, the Home Office or Anderles deepens as officials now despair over the inept ministers. It's actual chaos, reports iNews. Oh, yeah. Even more hilarious. Just imagine for a second, you are the government in Rwanda, in Kigali, and you know that Sunak and his lot are going to lose, and the next incoming government is saying, yeah, we're going to undo that deal. We're not going to fulfill it. It's a waste of time. It's just, what a colossal waste of money. Because already we can guarantee that none of them, absolutely none of them, and Kilgary is going to say, well, no, they'll drag their heels about this stuff, and it won't happen. You know, it won't happen now. Just an absolute fail of a deal. But there you go. But then we've only been saying that since the very beginning of all these things. I gotta keep it this way. Here we go. Suella, donate your excess kids to the coal mines. Probably. Rob, I cannot see an election in the autumn. If it does, if there is one that does happen, it's not going to be November. I can almost guarantee you it's not going to be November, because no one wants to sort of crash in at the exact same time the US presidential elections are happening. No one wants to collide with that. So I can always guarantee you there is going to be a general election this year. It ain't going to be in October. Mike Fletcher, a beautiful day for politics. Oh, indeed. It has absolutely been. I don't know if you can tell. And it's a bit too sunny. We've walked all the way down there, around there, through there, along this ridge, up here, onto here. It's quite a good walk. It's a very good walk indeed. Craig, my guess is the EU and Labour have had a quiet chat about the matter and the political realities. They probably have done. They probably have done. It would not surprise me to find out if Lammy has been talking with... there goes the train. If Lammy has been talking with EU officials in some capacity. Craig, hopefully Labour opens the books on the stuff like Rwanda so we can see just how much money was grifted away. Probably that will be the case. Mike, will the Starmer Ming vase finally break and common sense prevails? Ultimately, yes. You know, I don't know how long we've been saying this, but, you know, you cannot have a serious conversation about the British economy and not include Brexit in some way, shape or form. You've got to have an honest conversation. And as I've always said, you cannot have an honest conversation about Brexit until you've gotten at least rid of the majority of crazies in the Tory party. And honestly, by the looks of it, that's going to happen. Well, relatively soon, potentially. Maybe even next week, if rumours are to be believed. But we'll see. Now, I'll say this now. All rumours should be believed until the date of the supposed election has been passed. So I suppose it keeps us all on tenterhooks as to when the next election is going to be. Larry the Cat. Meanwhile, in Rwanda, the government official says, yeah, of course we'll give them money back as they stash it in the Swiss bank accounts. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me, because we've spent all that money on building those new houses. They've already sold off half of them, apparently, to locals. So that already diminishes the supposed size of like numbers of migrants we can send, and normally you could send about 200, so that wasn't exactly going to solve the problem at all. Oh, sorry, 199 because we've already sent one voluntarily. However, they have now disappeared. What a surprise. Oh. Has Priti Patel been brought to Rwanda? Not yet. Well, she's probably about to lose her job. You know, unless she somehow survives, then maybe she will be one of the contenders for a potential leadership contest. And I can tell you now, that leadership contest, oh boy, is that going to be brutal. Almost every single metric you can imagine. You know, it is going to be absolutely brutal. Yeah, I don't expect a refund for Rwanda. The Conservatives are not good at making deals. Yep. They could have literally built over 1,000 homes in the UK with that money that they wasted on Rwanda. Yep. You know, on the housing crisis, well, we've talked about it enough on here. But you know, it's a multitude of things that we need to do. We need to sort of, you know, build new homes is one thing we need to do, but we can't build our way out of this crisis. You need to tackle renting. You need to sort of look at rent reforms, building sort of more social housing. There are a ton of different things you need to really do in this regard. And even though I know that Labour have said, oh, well, we're going to rule out rent protections, eventually I think you could see them saying, hey, look, renting is just going absolutely out of control. Would you not like to score the most easiest win in political history? Almost like, you know, politics is a bit of a game sometimes. But there you go. She was there, David, but they just put her back on the plane. Yeah, not even Rwanda would want Suella Braverman. Had a dream about Anne Widdecombe dying. Well, I have to say, that's a bizarre dream to have, but there you go. Rent reform will never happen under what is literally the landlord's party. Yeah, it's never going to happen under the Conservatives, but under Labour, that is, I think, ever more likely. And as I've said before, you will get a big opportunity. I think a big progressive bloc will form, and they will push for, you know, more progressive policies. And if they're smart about it, if they play their cards right, if they sort of, you know, push slowly, incrementally, make the arguments that, you know, these are the policies that we should be following, then they have, honestly, a very good chance to make a lot of change. And as I keep on advocating for, you can get a lot more change done within inside of a party than you can outside of it. So Larry the cat, what a wonderful dream, but Granny Waddle is alas alive and well. Good morning to you, Alma. Nice to see you without a hat and coat. Well, it is actually wonderfully warm weather this weekend. So, you know, British summertime is officially here for as long as it lasts. Although, honestly, at this point, I do think we're going to have quite an early summer by the looks of, if it's like this so far, then honestly, I think we're going to have quite a nice, decent summer this year. The only problem is that's going to cause problems for the farmers. You know, it does at some point need to rain, because if it doesn't rain, that causes problems for the crops. And we've already had, I think I've done a video about this, about, you know, technically we've had about 3 big crop failures for the past 3 years because, unfortunately, of the weather in the country. Which has left a lot of farmers in a lot of very dire straits. So unfortunately, we're probably going to be covering, depending on the weather, you might see a lot more farmers go bankrupt this year, unfortunately, which will not play well in the Tory shires. Let's go through it. Oh, morning. Jane Lockwood, good morning to you. And hola from sunny Espanol. Like I say, you're not missing much, to be honest. It is quite sunny here at the moment in the UK. Shockingly so, for once. Ooh. Yeah, that's the worst thing about walking through all that grass, is my walking shoes are absolutely soaked. You wouldn't think it in being such a sunny day, but they are absolutely soaked. Yeah, Sunak could donate his swimming pool water to the local farmer. Very doubtful that's going to happen. Windy and cold down south, you're getting the kettle on. Well, good for you. I'll be probably doing the same in a moment as well. I need to get breakfast started as well. Craig, this may explain Sunak's rush. Good weather means more small boats. Yep. Like I say, all these rumours about when the next general election are going to be, you know, we are in a position where until the date has passed, you know, until Wednesday, we may be in a general election. You know, there's lots of signs and indicators to point to that, and we're going to get this now until the actual general election kicks off. I know I can't see now. Yeah. Oh, David's in Spain too. Oh, there we go. So, Pikachu, good morning to you. I hope Vaughn oh, hang on. Hey, Jacob Reef Morg is behind you. Don't scare me like that. I hope, oh, there we go. I hope Vaughn Gettering is removed from power in Wales before he further damages Labour's position in Wales or causes collateral damage elsewhere in the UK. Unfortunately, I don't follow Welsh politics that too much, but I know he's been arguing a lot with farmers recently, or at least the farmers have been arguing a lot with him. Shouldn't they? Susan Davis, if the letters are going in, would Rishi sooner rather go on his terms than call a general election than being outed by his party? Honestly, the best thing for him to do is to get the ultimate revenge and just trigger a general election on the way out. that's literally the best thing he can do. And just sit back and watch all those people who have caused him so much, consternation and trouble for him. Just watch as they just panic like crazy. Just sit back and just know, yep, general election campaign. It's not going to go well, so why should I try? Oh, if only that would happen, but we'll see. So, here we are. Whew. Tell you what, it's tougher walking through all that wet grass than it is through the mud sometimes, but there you go. But it's also absolutely wonderful weather, so get out and enjoy it while you can if you're in the UK or if you're up north by the sounds of it. It's absolutely cracking today. Cracking Six Flags, as we say in Yorkshire. So have an absolutely fantastic enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go and follow, I think, is Max live? Is it the Good Morning, is it the Sunday Roast on soon, or is it a bit later? I can't remember if it's now or later, but do go check them out. I know they're starting soon-ish, so go check them out. Like I say, have an absolutely fantastic morning. Do remember to hit the like and share button on your way out. Do leave a comment down below as well, helps with all the algorithmical things. Down below as well, there are links for Pony Club, Patreon page, Buy Me a Coffee link, etc. You know all the rest of this stuff. So have an absolutely fantastic weekend. Enjoy the rest of it. Enjoy the good weather while you can. And of course, as always, we'll see you next Saturday for another Good Morning Walk.